Bitcoin is close to becoming worthless.
Let's go. Now, what's the Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's like rat poison.
Yeah. Oh,
The greatest scam in history.
let's get it.
Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another Confab episode. This one is with Chet, a good friend of the show and a Pleb minor mafia member. He's been around for a long time, basically since the start of everything I've done with John, and he's been a huge supporter of the show and a lot of the spin-off projects around the ungovernable misfit sphere. It was really good to have a catch up with him. It'd been a couple of years. Chet's a perfect example of a pioneer. When we talk about this concept, we're talking about getting away from just being a pleb, jumping into doing things properly and mastering your craft. And when it comes to mining, especially hydro, Chet is the man to speak to. If you're listening to this and looking to set something up with hydro, he is definitely the man to reach out to. Before we jump in, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone supporting the show, whether that's sharing with friends and family, boosting the show, sending in XMR chats, or any of the other many ways that people help. Last month's confab was with Business Cat. If you missed that, definitely go and check it out. That was a really fun one. Thank you to Rod Palmer from the Bugle News. He says hashtag 40 hours per week and sends 21,000 sats. Thank you, Rod Palmer. Thank you very much, mate. Fundamentals sent 10,101 sats and said, great pod. So glad this finally happened. I knew it would be a banger. Otis Bittmeyer sent 5,420 sats and said, a good vibes discussion of black pill subject matter. Noah looked crazy until he didn't. Late Stage Hoddle sent 5,000 sats and said, Kerim's sample just keeps getting better. I always enjoy a that's fine thrown in the middle of the conversation, and John's voice saying fucking parasites was perfect. Good work, Kerim. Pay this man more to keep up the good work. Fucking hell. All right, mate. Great conversation with Business Cat. I look forward to the 4-man confab and lots of grumpy old man stuff. Yeah, me too. Hopefully soon. Confgas says heroes bring greatness. Jason C. loved the ISOs, Max. Lean into that. Block 7 streamed 1,140 sats. Rev Hoddle said being prepared for the pole shift means being prepared with more than financial capital or physical form of capital. I'm working on being prepared spiritually too. Kaz Peelan stream 440 sats, user 1134271 stream 590 sats. Wood Butcher sent 420 sats and said 2 Thessalonians. Oh, this has got to be a Bible thing. 1710. AIBLE, wonderful conversation and a long time coming. I've been taking the pole shift seriously, though I know we may not survive it. Even if it doesn't happen in your lifetime, a Western society continues its steady decline, anyone would be well served to follow the advice of Business Cat, Max, John, Kerim, and others in being prepared for life, as you know it, being flipped on its head. God bless RBP and the Misfits. Yeah, totally agree, mate. More and more I'm thinking about that, because the worst case scenario, if you are prepared, is you have tools and food and things and preparations that you can use anyway and generally come in handy anyway, whether it's a pole shift, whether it's just food shortages, shipping issues, like it could be anything. The worst case is you're a bit more prepared. It really is worth thinking about. Stack Jarrow sent 250 sats saying, having a low time preference for such a cataclysm definitely makes sense to a certain degree. Not necessarily going full prepper mode, but I think it's important to realize such a thing could happen, and it's important to be able to respond accordingly if one is capable. Godseth said, thank you, gentlemen. Mark sent 210 sats. Pies, do you know of any other mobile wallet with silent payment support? Good question. I'm not sure. I think Sparrow has it, but obviously not. That's not a mobile wallet. I think there's one that only, I think Seth mentioned the other day, that only does silent payments and nothing else, but I can't remember what it's called. You have to listen back. I think it was maybe last week's Freedom Tech Friday or the Monero Monthly. It was one of the two. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the show, all the messages, all the sats, XMR chats, everything. We really, really appreciate it. Before we start, I want to say thank you to my show sponsors, Cake Wallet, Foundation, and MYNYMBOX. I'm very, very happy to have these guys on board. It's amazing to find such aligned companies, and I'm very happy to be suggesting these services to friends, family, listeners, and maybe that's kind of the same thing in many cases. If you want a world-class mobile wallet, check out cakewallet.com. They support silent payments, Monero, linking to your own node. You can run it over Tor. They have Cake Pay, where you can spend your Bitcoin and Monero buying gift cards, Visa cards, all sorts of things. They have some of the best features out there, and they are always building. I've literally just got off the call for the Freedom Tech Friday with Seth, and they're building out a Visa card that you'll be able to top up and use within Google or Apple Wallet and just use it for everyday spending, which would be amazing. They're just always innovating everything. They've got over 500,000 users, and they really are incredible. Thank you also to Foundation. Foundation have been supporting this show for a very long time now. We would not be here without them. They make my favorite hardware. It's my favorite hardware because it's beautifully designed. It's fully open source. It's piss easy to use. They have an amazing companion app, Envoy, which makes it very simple to set up friends and family. And they've got an incredible team. Bitcoin Q&A included in that team. Obviously a huge part of Ungovernable Misfits, and really cares about making sure that people are secure and private where they can be. Go to foundation.xyz. You can use the code ungovernable for a discount. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Q. And finally, MYNYMBOX, the newest sponsor of this show, and they've been incredible. If you are looking at hosting, whether that's running a node, setting up BTC Pay server, setting up a VPS, or really any hosting service, you really should consider using them. I recently did a confab with Random Nim. Go back and check that out if you haven't already, but we go through all of the trade-offs, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that you need to know. Pay in Bitcoin, Monero, or any other cryptocurrency. They don't take any details from you. You can do this very privately, very securely, and you don't have to be hugely technical to do this. If you have any questions for me or for Random Nim, you can reach out, but check them out at mynymbox.net and enjoy the show. We finally have him on the show. Chet is back, still with the same mic, still with the same computer, and I have to say, probably still with the same beard, isn't it? It's looking long.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, nice to have you back, mate. There's very few people who have been around in the Bitcoin mining scene and Meshtadel and everything that I've been doing with John as long as you. Like, you've been there pretty much right from the start.
I was definitely fortunate. Got to hear y'all when John first came on, and I knew right away I had to meet these guys.
Yeah, you were, what were you were down in, was it Guatemala, you said? It was something at a lake?
Yep. Well, the first time I heard y'all was in Miami, staying in a hostel at Mining Disrupt, trying to just get out and meet anybody I could. The first time we recorded, I was in Guatemala doing the oil, the used cooking oil, putting in a gen set and trying to run miners.
So it was something like, from memory, because when was that? That was 21, maybe, was it? Something like that, or 2022?
It's either 21 or 22. It was when John was doing the Hash the Torch.
That's it.
And he wanted me to go meet Carl. So we had Carl and I, that's the first time we met, was on the podcast or chatted or anything. And now he's become, a great homie.
Oh, I love Carl. He's such a wise man. We say it all the time, but just like, if you want to survive in an apocalypse, he's probably one of the people you want on your team, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I'd bug out to Michigan. Like if I had needed to bug out, I'd go to that community and try to fit in up there somewhere where I could just work and get in.
Yeah, we got a good group. So, I mean, since then, like spinning up the Hash the Torch and all these people meeting, you meeting Carl and everyone else, and the Meshtadel and Pleb Minor Mafia and everything. We never really knew what it was going to be. It's turned into something really cool. Like, whenever I think about, oh, I want to learn how to do this, or I want to build that, I want to know about something, there's almost always, like with almost any subject, someone that you can reach out to who's either really skilled or really knowledgeable in a certain area. And that's not really something that I've seen most other places within Bitcoin and like all these kind of groups and pods and stuff. Like the fact that you've got like, and spin-offs like Lake Satoshi and all these other things that sort of come out of it where you have these core groups that could all go and meet. That's like a real, just like a huge value, because a lot of the rest of the space that I look around in, like I don't want to associate myself with 99% of them. Like I find it quite embarrassing the way that people act, and nothing's like real. It's all a bit gross. And then it's like this little gulch of people that can do and will look after each other, which is pretty awesome.
No, I agree 100%. Like the community y'all have built, it's second to none. So there was a while there where I found myself tearing away from where my roots came from, like where I started in Bitcoin, right? The people that actually helped me to progress in my progression on the Bitcoin trajectory that I was on. Mm-hmm. And you get in some of the groups and it's just strictly all these trad fry bros, all these people that just are just so niche, and they don't let really anyone else into their community, right? You want to try to get in and fit in because you think they're the ones that can get you to the next step that you want to go to. And I found myself where I was kind of like, not in a rut, but just not surrounded by exactly the people that I came in with and the ones that I wanted to be surrounded with. And I kind of had to step back and just kind of hunkered down, stayed more focused, and been grinding pretty hard right now.
Do you think there's like a level of, you know, like when you first start seeing a girl, doesn't matter who they are, you have this like electricity that is like running through the two of you. There's like an excitement, a palpable feeling of intense excitement. And no matter how much you love that girl, that is going to fade, and it fades on both ways. That explosive chemistry. Do you think it's kind of similar in the Bitcoin world? Because like we do come in, you don't want to fuck Bitcoin, but like you can't shut the fuck up about it. You are like amazed by it and you can't stop. And then to some degree, it's like however many years you are down the line, you're like, I still love this thing, but I'm not as excited.
I think so. I don't think it's particularly Bitcoin's fault. It's sometimes the people that you associate with Bitcoin, right? And we've always say Bitcoin's going to get everyone. Everyone and everything is going to come to Bitcoin on a long enough timeline. For me, it was just, I was searching or trying to get to what I thought I wanted and what people look at as success and this and that. You know, success is measured in many different forms. And I just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't feel right for a while there where I was at and what I was trying to get into and grinding towards. I had lost some of, it's funny because the fiat ways still try to corrupt you on this journey in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Was that like, in terms of, you know, you started getting into mining, then you really heavily have got in, like John always says to me, he's like, oh yeah, like Chet really knows his shit. Like he really embraces, I'll sleep in the mine, bro. Like I'll take a roll up mattress, I'll be there, and you do things to a very, very high spec and know your shit. Like obviously that gives you I imagine anyway, like mastering your craft gives you like a really good feeling inside. There's like a value to doing something, doing it well, and when you go to sleep you're like, fuck, I'm nailing this. But it's easy to get corrupted, I'm sure, especially in that industry. What you're saying is like chasing just the numbers.
Exactly, for sure. I mean, and then also wanting the adulation of people that don't really matter or do matter. They matter. Everyone matters, right? But it just didn't matter for what the accolades or what I was trying to achieve. And then, you know, you find yourself feeling more hollow than the fulfillment that it should have felt to get to where I thought I was trying to, like you're saying, master your craft. And I'll never master Bitcoin or mining. You know, I had a thesis on miner prices that I'm about to be very, very humbled on. Bitcoin has a way of humbling you to your core. A thesis that I thought was going to play out, and it still could, right? I still could get humbled for the next month or two, and then boom, something happens, and used miner prices and just miner prices go off the charts again.
Your thesis was to hodl hash because the value of the miners would increase.
100%. Or I thought the used miner prices would be more than like $2 a terahash, $1 a terahash right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's very humbling. I did not see that coming. So now I'm sitting on a bunch of Avalons and a bunch of these miners that are just sitting over here. And it's like, well, that's fine.
No seas.
But yeah, definitely not going to be able to hash the torch in essence at a good value for me and for them. Either I'm going to have to sell them or just give them away like I've done with so many S9s, or Bitcoin has a way of teaching you not to have a thesis and stick with it too long.
Yeah, and it also has a way of it's watching as soon as you sell any significant amount for any type of expense, it's going to just fucking pump in your face, and it's like a massive fuck you, you should have held. And then the other way around as well. As soon as you need it, it's dropping. It's one of those, and everyone says it. Like everyone I speak to, who's like, "Oh yeah, I bought a house," and then it just fucking pumped its nuts off after I'd held for 3 years or whatever it is. It's always the way. I had to sell a load 6 months ago, and then we've doubled, and I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking
the way it goes.
One thing I've notice over time personally is my care about holding Bitcoin has shifted. I used to have this thing where I was like, I still do a bit, but I used to think, I'm gonna hold and I'm never fucking selling, you cunts, because you're not having my Bitcoin and I don't want you to have it. I'd rather take it to my grave. I'd rather you cannot buy it and you fuck yourselves up with paper Bitcoin and everything else, and I don't want you to have it. And it was a bit of a way of me voting in a way. But then I had kids and medical bills and things and stuff and life, and I guess that kind of changed where I'm there's still the fuck you, but also it's not anywhere significant enough to actually change anything because I'm a little weasel small fish. The memories matter more. I sometimes regret not going when friends have invited me to oh, come away with us and we're going to go and do this and we're going to have this amazing adventure and do the stuff, and I'm like, no, I've got a stack. No, I'm not going to come out to dinner, we're doing a birthday party, and I'd be like, oh, I can't, and I'd pick up extra hours and do extra work and not spend the money. And at the time it's oh yeah, if I buy Bitcoin now, it's going to be worth this, and then I can do what I want. It's well, you can do what you want a bit now as well. You gotta what if you drop dead and then you've never experienced life? Then you're actually an idiot. You're worried about risk, and that's why you're in Bitcoin. But then you're not actually looking at the risk of you can just have a heart attack. I know people not much older than me, friends of mine who have had heart attacks. It's well, fuck. You have to enjoy the life as well.
It's a hard mental hurdle to get over, right? I think we all struggle with that. Probably the struggle of trying to hodl as much Bitcoin as you can never ends.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I've definitely done is I've definitely used a lot more. I'd rather, if I can use Bitcoin, I'll find myself going out or spending that money or, good time, the adventure, whatever it is. If I can use more of my Bitcoin in doing that and funding that, then I find myself doing those types of things. If I can't, and it's harder for me or it's restrictive where I have to, get more fiat, I a lot of times won't do those things. If I can use my Bitcoin to do it, I find myself definitely creating the memories. And I would rather have the Bitcoin going to someone else in order for me to enjoy that time, whatever that is, rather than turning it into dollars to fiat and then trying to go and have that good time. I have a vacation coming up. I had been doing every year until I moved into the mines. And then the last couple of years, I haven't done it. I've just literally been, just grinding. But going to do it again this year and taking my family. I can pay in Bitcoin for the condo. And so it's a no-brainer for me. Had I probably had to turn that into dollars and the people that own it made it difficult, I probably wouldn't have taken the vacation or the adventure.
Yeah, in those sort of cases, you know it's going to someone else of quality. There's like a level of, if I was going to buy maple syrup, I'm going to go and buy it from Carl in person. I'll put the Bitcoin to him and I'll know like, okay, this is going to be used wisely. And this is to a good person.
Yep, 100%.
If I've got to go and spend it in a shop, it's different. It's almost like my precious. You're like, I don't want to let go of you unless I know you're in like safe hands, even though you're not even a thing and you're like, do you know what I mean? It's like there's definitely that, which is kind of cool. And if lots of people do it, then that does grow out a circular economy and it does make it go into better hands rather than just sell, goes to an exchange, fucking Michael Saylor buys it, and boomer type finance bros who are like finding all these different new ways to re-explain Bitcoin just over and over again and like selling it to their boomer mates. It's like, that is kind of sad to me. Like, it's good for the price, but it's kind of sad because it's like, I don't really want them to do it, and it takes the coolness away from it. It takes the like cypherpunk ethos away from it. They're just going to have it stored with Coinbase. They're not running nodes. They're not tinkering with this stuff. They're not using coin joins. They're not experimenting. They're not building. They're just, I don't know. I kind of find them like a little bit like a fly in my drink, and I'm like, you fucked this up.
You know, I try not to get too deep into that stuff. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do. And when I do, sometimes I can get down in the hole about the whole Bitcoin thing. But if I go too deep in some of that stuff, it's not good for me mentally. I know why I came to Bitcoin. I know what it's going to do on a long enough timeline. Like, I have no doubt it consumes everything in our world. And I just had to keep my head down. You know, like I said, I found myself getting too deep into some of them other aspects of it. You can start questioning again why you're doing things. I don't want to be questioning why I'm Bitcoining. Like, I know why I'm Bitcoining, and I'm not going to let other people coming in, governments, the sailors, the paper Bitcoiners, whatever, pump my bags. It's fun. I'm living my best life I've ever lived because of it.
Yeah.
If I go too deep in that, I find myself getting depressed or get angry at things or not happy. When the headspace isn't good, nothing else seems to, you know, you go looking for trouble, you can find trouble. You want to find good things, usually you'll find good things. And I've been very fortunate.
And you're kind of like a mining monk is how I see you. The fact that you're like going and sleeping in the mine with a little rollout mattress, I really like that. Like, do you find some peace in that? Like, simple, you're doing difficult things, but like there's a simplicity to like work, sleep, head down, up again. Like, you almost aren't surrounded by a load of other things that can cloud your thoughts.
Exactly. I have to be submersed in it. If I get out there, I can be easily distracted, right? My mind can go a lot of different places. If I'm submersed in it, my mind's in one place, and that's the good place. That's where most of the time I need to be. And then when I get out the mine, you know, as John and some of the other guys know, I like to enjoy life. We have some fun. I was talking to Barn the other day. Oh, speaking of maple syrup about Carl, Barn's going to do some maple syrup jerky this batch. I don't know if you caught that, but I'm really stoked on that. He's going to make me some hot maple syrup jerky. Really stoked on that.
So what, like spicy maple syrup jerky?
Exactly. He's going to soak the meat in maple syrup, but put some spice, his normal spice in it, the hot. We'll see how that goes. I'll send you a bag. I don't know if he's going to make a ton of it, but I'll keep you a bag if you want one.
Thank you. That'd be nice. I'm obsessed at the moment with, there's a place that, I know it's not very Bitcoinery, like you're supposed to just eat fucking steak and whatever, but I love pizza. There's a really good pizza place near me, and they do one that's got like all the pork, like really good proper sausage, nice ham, it's got salami, it's got all these different like meats and stuff, and then like caramelized onions.
Oh
yeah, it's so good. And but then they get this hot honey. So they got a hot honey drizzle with chili in it, and it's like local honey from the guy, like literally who makes the pizzas. It's so fucking good. He drizzles that over the pizza, and it's so good because it's got that spice and that sweet, and it's just, oh my god.
I just started. There's a pizza place here, and someone said, "Have you tried their hot honey on it?" And I'm like, "What?"
Oh,
what are you talking about? And then they said that that's exactly what they said they do. And they said it's killer.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Next time you go, just try it. And
All
I just
right.
remember this moment and just like, if it's a problem and it really upsets you, you can give me a slap when we actually see each other. But I promise you, you're probably more likely to be like, oh, you've changed my life.
As long as it's local honey. It's got to be the local honey. That's the key.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Nice. What island in Italy are you in getting this?
Yeah, I'm in the Shetland Islands at the moment,
Okay.
as John likes to say, with my little ponies. So I'd like to be in Italy. Although, actually, to be fair, when I've gone to Italy, the food hasn't been that good. I've been twice. I think I was maybe in like too much of a touristy area. But like I would go, like I think it's also the expectation. I was expecting like I'm going to go and I'm going to have amazing coffee and I'm going to have amazing food.
Well, sure.
And then I was a bit like, it was okay. Maybe I was spoilt being near London. Like there's so many good places around to eat, so you kind of get spoiled like a little bit. But yeah, I've never found somewhere where I've gone to Italy and had that kind of like classic, what I imagine, go have a little espresso and then like go and have some like ham and melon or something and some wine and like...
And then your limoncello.
Oh, limoncello. I had that when I was there. I got absolutely fucking battered on limoncello. That's not bad.
Don't let the Italian homies hear you say that. They'll be upset with you.
Yeah, I know they will. It's fun though sometimes to wind them up.
Definitely.
Get some pineapple on the pizza. When you're not in the mine and you let your thoughts wander and do other things, like outside of Bitcoin, the things that you can talk about, is there anything that is exciting you at the moment? Like, as an example, a lot of people, once they start doing a little better in life and maybe they buy a home or they take up some hobbies, they might start going down the fitness and health route, or they might start learning to build, like learn a trade because they're doing stuff around the house, or they have things that are sort of loosely tied to Bitcoin. And I see it really often, especially with our groups that we have, like people start to spend less time listening to the Bitcoin podcast, start to drop off a little bit and immerse themselves in something else. Is there anything that you've started doing like that?
No, not really. So my fitness is one of the things that I definitely am not disciplined in right now. That's something that I just like, I'm going to make a commitment to here. I started the other day just trying to eat better, get a little more active rather than just sitting looking at computer screens and moving around doing mind things. But no, I really haven't. Gas mining, I guess, would be like I went from the hydro to really learning those and having those systems. And now I'm really trying to get into gas. I don't think miners, we can't compete with the Apples, Amazons, Googles, Microsofts of the world, that money-wise, to bid for energy price. I think they're going to start outbidding and start consuming more energy, or a lot of energy. And I think the Bitcoin miners are going to have to get more scrappy. So I've been really trying to focus and learn some gas mining, learning mineral rights and operator's license and gas purchaser's license. And there's just so much nuance, and it's such a good old boy type of community. My dad was in oil and gas for his whole life. He worked in oil and gas, and it's one thing I really wish I had him here, because I think he could really have opened some doors for me and got me into some places that have been really tough for me to get into. And my brother, before he passed away, he wanted to get my brother and I into oil and gas. I didn't take the opportunity at that point in time. I thought oil was almost kind of the devil. I didn't realize what energy was or any of that. It's ruining the planet, this and that. I'm not going to get into it. And I moved out to the woods. My other brother got into it. And now he's kind of come full circle. I've worked on him for years. I buy cows from him in Bitcoin or this and that. And so he's gotten to see over the years how it's gone. He saw the number go up for the most part, right? And now he's hounding me they bought mineral rights to a gas well. We're just grinding now. So he's been hounding me, more and more excited about it. He's like me. When he gets into something, he's very passionate. He dives head first and goes all in pretty much. So that's where I've really been focusing a lot of time. And then obviously the few hydros mines that I take care of consume a lot of my time, going around and, making sure that they're as close to 100% uptime and mines online as I can. And you start getting into the thousands of miners, it consumes a lot of time. It really does. And then, there's times where I will go out or be out at Lake Satoshi for a couple of days, and maybe there's a few miners down. Where does that balance come in at? how does the balance come in? And that's been something I've really tried to work on too, is balancing where I'm putting a lot of my time or most of my time. And it's still Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. The people in Bitcoin, I feel like a lot of times I don't communicate. Like Carl tried to call me the other day. I was getting on a flight back from Finland and I didn't answer and I haven't called him back. And that those things start to weigh on me too. Am I not being good enough homie to my Bitcoin friends that I've met along the way? Am I not giving them enough time? It's just a constant struggle in the mind.
There's a burnout as well. I wouldn't feel bad about not replying to someone for a couple of days. First of all, we're like batteries. We have a certain amount of energy in us. And when that energy's gone, we're dead. We have to use it wisely. Like there is just so much and you don't know quite how much it is. You just use it wisely. But on top of that, like the ability to spin a certain amount of plates, if you've got shit going on, you're looking into this stuff with your brother, you're trying to work out all the mineral rights stuff. I've seen it with John. Like John is fucking exhausted. People say it like, oh man, I'm so fried. John's fucking exhausted. And that's because he's doing his job and he's still being a good dad and husband and all the family stuff. And then on top of that, he's doing the gas stuff. So I see that. And if you're in that state where you're really busy, anyone who's a real friend isn't going to get upset about it. You go, look, he's fucking tired. He's busy. He can't spin another plate. And next time you're taking a shit, you've got 5 minutes to yourself. Then you're going to respond. Like, I don't think anyone who's actually building and like really pushing themselves in the Bitcoin space, who's been around for a long time, is ever going to think less if you sort of, give things a few days. I think it's more important that you're building than it is to like be part of the groups and saying GM every morning and that kind of stuff, because you're building a future. Like the fact that if you're making stuff and earning the Bitcoin, it's going to be in the hands of someone who can hold it and use it in the right way. That's more important than like being involved in the latest joke or meme or whatever it is that's going around. To me anyway, I think that's more important.
I agree. It's weighs on the mind sometimes. You have some homies that are better, or closer to you. Sometimes it starts to weigh on my mind if I'm doing enough. I never think that I'm doing enough or I need to give more, right? I don't give enough a lot of times. And it always weighs. Where's that happy medium? I'll probably never know.
yeah. We'll probably never know. But it's cool that you're doing something with your brother. That's a nice... I bet your dad, you said he's not with you anymore. Like if that comes together and if there is a heaven and you're looking down, like that's the dream for any dad, is like, oh, my sons are going to work together and they have this passion project they're working on. That's fucking cool.
I appreciate that. And I hope so. It's going to work out one way or another. It'll work out. It's just the grind, right? Me and my brother are a lot alike. So we sometimes can butt heads. As we've gotten older, it's gotten better though. So it should work out. It's, it's not a ton of MCF. We'll see. It's like, John, I've been watching, I went up there and saw his, and I need to get up there again to go look at it. He's done a lot of work since last time I was there. So, but it's a grind. He keeps me motivated too. I see him and chat with him and, both y'all on the podcast, and I don't know how y'all have time to do it, but I'm very thankful for y'all giving your time to the podcast to listen. I don't know how you have time. It's appreciated.
Well, thank you. It's definitely not quite the same as it was. We had more time to make more jingles and do more fun intros and just like more time to prep and more time to plan and like all that kind of stuff. But so now it's a little bit more loose and a little bit more like jump on when we can. And the recent one we did, John was recording from the mine. I was out and about and it was pissing with rain. We make it happen still. It's not quite the same, but I think it will probably get there again because I've been in fiat fucking nightmare stuff for sort of 6 months and John's grinding away, but it's like getting to a point where it should be less of a problem soon. And he's also got a father figure within that space. We're going to do a probably 2 or 3 part series on it, so I won't give too much away, but the guy that he bought his mine from really luckily has just taken him under his wing. Like obviously just seeing, oh, okay, John's a good guy, like I'm going to help here. Sold him it. And he's just been there to mentor him and walk him through things and just give that like old man advice of like, look, son, I've done this for fucking 40 years or whatever it is. Like, I know this inside out, back to front. I could do this in my sleep and I'm going to help you. And so he's built this really amazing friendship with this guy who just kind of helped him and been there. And I think that's an important thing. I think we touched on it actually either in the last episode or the one before, but like that's an important thing for us as we do what we're doing to like think forward. And that's something that me and John have talked about. Is like sometimes we go, look, fucking let's just put the pod on pause. Let's just like it's too much, it's too tiring, like I can't do this anymore. But then it's like, well, no, don't be a bitch. Like you need to pass on some of what other people have done for you. Like there's so many people that have helped us through the years with our Bitcoin stuff, and now someone helping him with the mining, with the gas stuff. And like if we just say, yeah, we're done, bye, you're not paying it forward.
Agreed. A lot of people, that guy probably would have been willing to help, but not everyone's as accepting as John, right? You have to be open and not think you know more than you know about what you don't know. Sometimes I find myself like that, and we all have to be willing to listen and open more. And John's great at that. I love listening to advice from John, talking to John. Like I said, that core group, when I was coming in, I kind of started to drift away from, and I found myself, not feeling as good as I had in the past. And I just had to really get back focused on some things that matter and where the priorities are going to be put, because you do start getting spread too thin.
Yeah, it's what's like wholesome stuff as well. I was having this conversation the other day. So we've recently got a new place here. Like I wanted a family home, and that was like a big part of the move.
Look at you.
Yeah, it was like a big part of doing it. Well, because my previous businesses was property. So like
Okay.
buying, flipping, extending, renovating, selling, then rebuying stuff, leasing it out. Like I did that for
You were like a slumlord.
literally, yeah, since I bought my first property when I was 14.
Nice.
Basically at 14, I was in with a family who were doing it. Like I didn't have a good relationship with mine at all. They kind of took me under their wing, and the mum was like really into property. I was like, how are you fucking buying stuff? Like you live a good life. Like what's going on? And she was like talking to me about it, and I just learn and learn and learn. I was like, can I come to some of your meetings? Like, can I just like sit in? And she was like, yeah, you can come in. And then she was like, after about 6 months and me going to all these meetings, like taking notes and stuff, I was like, look, I've managed to make some money. Is there a way that I can go in with you on a property? I've done the calculations. I know you're going to buy this one. Like, what if I fronted up X? And so that was how I got into it, and then just kept doing it. And then I found Bitcoin, and then
Nice.
I was like, oh, this is dumb. This is really fucking dumb. Like putting money in property is fucking retarded. So everything that I had, I sold and bought Bitcoin. The home I lived in, everything, got rid of everything, lived as frugally as I possibly could and didn't want any property. But then since having a family, there's always been this thing in my head that's like, financially, it makes no sense to buy a property. I'd be much better off renting, but it's not mine.
The home base.
Yeah, that's right. It's like it's not ours. There's a certain amount of like now we've got a home. I'm really obsessed with learning to be more skilled with carpentry because there's a lot of wood there. Like I can do stuff. I can build decks. I can do a lot of handy stuff, tiling and whatever. But I want to get really good at carpentry because I want to put these personal touches onto our home that I'd never do anywhere else. But because it's my home and hopefully my kids inherit this, I want what I'm doing with that deck or what I'm doing with that door to be really fucking beautiful. And then when I go to sleep, because it's been hard work and I could have done other things that could have been more financially better for me. Not buying the house would have been smarter financially. Hiring someone here to do the work for me would be better. It'd be better me working and paying someone rather than me doing it myself, slower and more expensive for my time. But I sleep better because I'm like, I've done something that's going to hopefully be around for a long time, and it's like done beautifully and my family get to enjoy it. That's way more interesting to me than like, oh, I'm going to do a business deal. It's more wholesome.
Yeah, it's all about that time, right? Putting that time in is worth it. Time for the kids to see your personal touches as they grow up, and they will appreciate it, right? Like there's no doubt about that. They might not now, but that appreciation will be there someday. That's awesome.
One day when I'm like old and fucked, maybe they'll go, do you know what? Like we never appreciated that, but that was quite cool what you did there. But when they're kids, unfortunately, you never get that. Like, oh, you didn't eat today so that we can have that toy. We really appreciate that, Dad. It's more like, little fucks. Oh, yeah.
No, that's the truth. I know I look back and appreciate, more and more of what my parents did and the time that they spent doing things or putting into the effort to make us feel special or good on, whatever day it was or anything
Mm.
like that.
It's weird, isn't it? Time, like you were saying earlier, like the things you chase the money because you think it gives you the ability to do the things that you think you want to do. But then you get so far down the road of chasing that you don't have time to do the things that you thought you wanted to do, even though you've got the money. It's like that old adage where it's people go on holiday and they're on a little fishing boat, the wealthy people on the fishing boat with the guy who's chartering it. So, can you imagine doing this every day? I'd love to do this every day. The fishing boat man says, I do. It's
Yeah.
like that person is far less wealthy financially, but do they have a more fulfilling life? And like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it reminds me of rafting, right? I would take these sometimes super wealthy people from the Bay Area rafting. They'd come out and be like, "You're so lucky. You're living this life. You're out here in the woods, just rafting the river every day." With anything, there's sacrifice being made, right? I'm not maybe making the money that they're making, but the beauty of nature. And they think I'm lucky. And I'm like, well, shit, I would rather be living in the Bay and flying cross country and living in $1 million homes. What's the, yeah, I don't know. We want what we don't have a lot of times, right? And it's like, so I've been thinking about, should I get a girlfriend? And hey, you and John need to do more jingles. You got to do more jingles every now and then. I know you're both busy, but we need more hash sluts. All right. Got to have some more jingles, but
We need more hash sluts. Everyone needs more hash sluts.
yeah, definitely.
You said you were thinking about getting a girlfriend, but I guess you're still.
Oh yeah. Okay. So sometimes I think I want a girlfriend, right? Like it's a lonely life out here, this and that. But I know myself well enough where if I get a girlfriend, when I get into that situation, I'm going to be like, why did I do this? And then it's going to be like this almost hassle type thing where I end up making the girl hate me to get out of the relationship rather than just like know to not even get in one, just enjoy things. Yeah, time and the mind are funny.
Maybe it's finding the right one.
You reckon?
Well, you're always going to have, like, you always think you want what you don't want. You're single and you're shagging around and you're living that life and you're like, oh, I'd like someone just to like look after me today and just, I'd like someone just to be around and like have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think you want that. And then it's the other, I think a life, I don't know. I think the best part of my life is the kids. So like, I think that without having the girlfriend, it doesn't give you the opportunity to find potentially the wife or long-time partner, and then it doesn't give you the opportunity to raise a family, not like a broken family, which is what me and like almost everyone is like part of that. Like mom, dad, yeah, they got divorced, they've got other partners and whatever, and it's like this, or they didn't get on. There's like the shouting all the time and like the bullshit that you like most people grow up with.
Yep.
But actually, if you're building something that's really valuable, at least in my mind, probably fuck it up, everyone does, but like I want to do my best to try and build this family where it's you have the mum and dad, you have the kids, you have the home, and you put that first. And if you can do that and build that, I think that like everything else pales in comparison in terms of like those moments of just giving your kids the best possible opportunity and showing love to them, so that, because it's all cyclical, isn't it? Like a lot of the bullshit that we have is from our parents and from theirs, and at the same time the good things. So everyone knows like having mum and dad together, if they're a strong unit and you've got kids seeing that, they grow up very differently to growing up in a broken family. So that's kind of where I look at it, is like that's the most beautiful thing that I can do. That's the most like exciting thing for me to do with my time. But you have to have the girlfriend first to do that. Like I've got mates who like very, very successful with the ladies and like live that lifestyle still. But they're like knocking 40, some of them older, and then they're like, I'm just probably not going to do the kid thing. And I think there's like merit to it, but also I do think you miss out. Like that there's just nothing like having kids. It's fucking annoying, but like without that, I don't know, it's not quite full.
I mean, it's the perseverance. Not many have the perseverance to endure another human's
Bullshit.
exactly their drama, their baggage, and people just don't have that where they want to endure that and make it through It's just, no, not going to do it. Not going to put the time into this, right? It comes down to time again.
Proof of work.
It's like, oh, I'm not going to do that because they can't see the backside, like you're saying, with the kids and those types of things. I had one early in life. I had a son early in life, got married, did that. And now I'm to the point now where I don't think I want to start over again. Like I see my brothers with young kids and I get fulfillment from them and hanging out with them and I love it. But for me, I just don't think I want to do it all over again.
I get that. Like, if you've already got a son, that's fucking cool. So you know this thing is awesome. Really annoying, probably, but like amazing. Like, what a gift to have a child. It doesn't mean you have to go through that again. I agree. I've seen like one of my closest mates, fucking hilarious guy. He's like, must be like 65, nearly 70, Jamaican guy.
Up there, okay.
Met him like, my dad used to have pubs. I met him there. He was like always really successful, young kids. We always got on. He always like mentored me. Like anytime I've had like big problems, I phone him up like, mate, I've got problems. And he's like, yeah, come over. Like really wealthy, like big fucking mansion, big pad, all the toys, like all the money that you could ever think. And he says that to me. He's like, I'll never have kids again now. Like it doesn't, and I'll never be in a relationship again now. Like I have girlfriends, I have the Tinder profile. They see the house, they see the Range Rover, they see whatever. We go and have some fun. Like I exclusively date like 28-year-olds. We go on holiday every other week and we do this, and I just fuck. And they don't care about me, and I don't really care about them, and that's how it is. And you can look at that as like, as this is soulless or lifeless or like there's no joy. But he's like, oh, I enjoy it, and they have a good time
Yeah.
too. And I still have my kids, and I see them on weekends, and I love them to pieces. So you kind of have the best of both worlds in that sense, that like you have like the wholesome stuff with the family, you look after them, but you can also have your fun. So
That's my role model right there. That's where I want to be at 60, 65, straight up 28-year-olds. That's my cap, and I'm golden.
it's fucking hilarious. It's like down to such a fine art. He's so skilled at it. It's absolutely hilarious. But you know, he's had the kids, he's done the things, and he's just like, never again.
I think we definitely start to learn ourselves the older we get. And it's, for
Yeah.
me, it's just one of those things like I've had a few great girlfriends. I haven't had a ton of girlfriends, but the ones I've had have been really good, really taken care of me and loved me. And I've ended up, at a certain point, I find myself not wanting to be in a relationship after, 5, 6, how many ever years. I can't see myself doing that again. I really can't. You never know though, right? We never know.
You never know.
Maybe my next Bitcoin cutie comes along.
Oh, hash latte.
I know. Where did she go?
She hasn't been around.
I know. Breaking my heart.
Maybe we scared her off with the jingles or
Could have been.
the hash slut commercial.
Probably John. John scares people.
He's creepy. I think that's the thing. Yeah, we'll try and bring it back. I think, like I said, a couple of months from now, we'll have a bit more time and like be able to create in a different way. But it just takes so much time. It's, John was sat there for like, I don't know, half a day doing show prep, and then I was spending a day or 2 days like editing and adding in the music and doing all the stuff. We have an editor now, but then all the money from sponsorship goes to editing. So then you're back to that square one of like, oh fuck, it's like drain. So it is definitely a labor of love.
You like doing the live shows? I've been listening to a few of the Freedom Tech Fridays
Oh, you have?
with you and Q&A and Seth.
What do you think?
I like them. I think they're informative. I usually don't catch them live. I usually catch them
Mm-hmm.
after the fact. But the one where y'all each named an app, and there was like the note-taking app instead of using notes, and then obviously Signal, and I can't remember what the other one was. But usually good info on there. I like it,
It's something I was really, really against for ages.
Why?
Control freak. I like to have the control with the editing. I like to do things at my own pace. I liked not being in a completely rigid structure of like, it is being recorded on a Friday at this time, so you have to be there. Like, there's no like rearranging, there's none of that. Mainly the control part. And then Jordan pushed me and pushed me and pushed me, and then Q kept pushing and saying like, look, we should do this. And then eventually I was like, fuck it, let's just do it, let's just give it a go, expecting not really to enjoy it, but like, let's just see. And actually it's probably become the most enjoyable one, because I know when it's done, I've got to do like a little bit of sorting out the levels, and I might spend half an hour just fucking around before it can go on the feed, or an hour tops. But it's not what the normal editing process is. And then it's quite nice. Like I quite like that we've got obviously Q and Seth are like the big brains. Like between the two of them, they seem to fucking know pretty much anything that I could ask about anything. And then we've got all the people in the live chat who jump in and they ask questions, but they also answer questions. So we've got 8 Mithrandir's in there. He's like smart as fuck answering things, and Bon and like all these other guys who are in there, just SPA and people like that. Like there are areas that even Seth and Q might not know so much about, like specific bits, but guarantee you some of those guys in the chat, they really, really know their shit. And so they're in there as well. And then you've got me just like mongoloid, like bringing it down to the level of the knuckle draggers, which I think is important as well, because otherwise it gets too lofty and too unapproachable, because you forget how much you know to some degree, and then a new person coming in, what happens is they'll end up like tuning in and go, oh, what the fuck, like I don't even know what this means, and then they'll tune into like Pete the Cunt instead, and they'll listen to that, and then they'll get scammed fucking whatever, like Compass or whatever the latest thing is.
I've been using Cake Wallet trying to move. I mean, Blue Wallet's usually my daily driver, but I've been getting into Cake recently and got some payouts going in there. Still trying to figure out silent payments and this pay join and some of these other things in here. So that's a good one, huh? He's a pretty smart dude.
He's so smart. He's so smart. There's like levels to this shit.
Yeah, like on Twitter, I've always followed him and he's always been in this other camp and different things, but he's a smart one.
I think he winds a lot of people up because he just
Yeah.
states his opinions, and like he's also not an aggressive typical Bitcoiner type. Like he's happy to have a nuanced conversation, and he like isn't going to attack people. And again, I think people are like, oh, he's a bit wishy-washy, or he's this or he's that, and like all I can say is that I've known probably for about a year and a half now pretty well. Like we speak most weeks, and he's a really fucking solid guy, a good human being. Every interaction that I've had, there's been times where I've laid things out where he could have been dishonest or fucked me over or made things not as good for me quite easily because I've laid things out a certain way, and he never has. It has always been absolutely honest. So
He's never brought the hammer down on you, huh?
no, he's always like he's always been as he should be, like always been honest. And the same with Q. Like I've known Q for much longer.
Have you? I got to meet him in Vegas
Oh, you did?
at the Bugle party.
I,
That was funny. That was hilarious.
I wish I'd have been there. That looked fucking awesome. Didn't you have like midget wrestling and stuff?
Yes, in the ring. It was crazy. Are you gonna come this year?
No, it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
You just don't get out much. What about Lake Satoshi?
If I'm going to go anywhere, it's going to be Lake Satoshi.
Nice.
If I go anywhere at all, it will be there. We sort of loosely planned a trip where we go to America and we tie that in with a couple of other things that we want to do there.
Do it. Do it. Do it like Solex does.
Yeah, my genuinely, the main reason that I don't go to a lot of these things is an OPSEC thing, especially with family. It's something that I worry about maybe more than I should. I'm still work as a NIM with this podcast, which gives me the rights to sort of, not the rights, but like the ability to be a bit more honest than someone whose face is out there probably would. And that's quite valuable to me. And then just like a safety aspect as well with the family and everything else. So that is honestly why, like, I don't go to so many events. Like I've been to events before where I've been there as a NIM and like a couple of the inside group know who I am. And then like someone's like, oh yeah, that's Max Bit by Bit.
Doxed.
And I'm like, great. Now another person. And it's happened a couple of times to people where like, I really didn't want that person to know who I am. I really don't want to share this information with this person because glowy types walk among us like in a big way. I know they do.
I'm probably too lax with it, honestly. Like I'm probably too far the other way where if you're going to come get me, come and get me, I guess. And that's probably not a good way to be either. I need to be.
Well, I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'm massively worried about a $5 wrench attack or that kind of stuff, because it's like, A, you're going to have a hard time, and B, you're going to be so disappointed. But it's more like the future problems of like, he's said this and done this and been honest about a setup or been honest about this, and now there's a potential vulnerability, like either like legally or it's more that kind of stuff where I'm just like, yeah, I'd love to just go to Lake Satoshi with the family, not give a fuck about anything, just enjoy it and like get them all meeting people and everything. But genuinely, that's the reason. There's probably like 10 people who have seen my face and shook my hand and like we know each other like in the real world, which is a massive shame.
That's wild.
Yeah. I've never even met John.
That's wild to me.
John's never even seen my face.
Never seen your face.
No, he's never seen my face, or Jordan,
Oh my goodness.
or Seth, like anyone in our crew. The only person who has is Q, because he was one of the first people I ever met.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably good. Like I said, I take my OPSEC probably a little bit too loose, but it's the same principle. Like if you're going to $5 wrench attack me, some of the things that you guys say, definitely when you guys talk about security and things like that, it's good. It's good to have that thought being put into people's head, because like I would never really think of that. Like it just doesn't cross my mind, I guess, because maybe I don't know. It's weird, but I need to be more OPSEC secure.
Well, there's levels to it, isn't there? And there's a lot of people that sort of overdo things, and you might not ever need to. And also, like, I think if you're really good with digital stuff, if you're like a Seth or a Q, do all the clever encryption this and flash drive that and keep that in the cloud, whatever it is. Like, do all the shit. But if you're like more of a physical person, keep your shit in the physical world. Like, if you know I can secure stuff, I know like I have different locations, I know my physical surroundings, and I'm much better in that world, lean on that. I know I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to technical stuff, so I don't go too hyper technical because I'm just going to shoot myself in the foot. I'm quite good in the real world, like in the physical world, so I lean on that. That's just, I think, don't be too clever. I think loads of people shoot themselves with that.
Well, I definitely do. Like right today, I just bought another 2 terabit hard drive. Start OS node, or my Start 9 node, is full. So I got, I don't know, 5-10 million sats on there. And I'm like, I can't get to it. I can't get to my Zeus wallet. I'm like, holy smokes. So I'm freaking out. So thank goodness at the Lexington meetup, we have a guy there that's super smart. He's actually helped me set this node up. So I'm going to go visit him here. He's messaging me right now. I'm going to go visit him and hopefully get this node back up and running. Nodes have always been so hard for me. They're just fucking, man, nodes. It's like, I can't keep one running from the first umbrella I ever built to the Start 9 has been good though. By far the best one I've ever had.
Me too. But I had this exact same thing. I had to upgrade to it from 1 to 2 terabyte and had exactly the same thing, that I had Lightning that I couldn't access and the backups weren't working. And then it ended up being some fucking SATA or whatever it is,
SATA drive.
That case that I bought wasn't compatible or didn't have enough power, or whatever, some fucking stupid shit, and like took days and days and days, and then it worked and it was fine. It's always worrying with Lightning.
Yeah, I haven't started freaking out too much yet. I'm like, all right, my homie knows what he's doing. Like this is his realm, so I'm just gonna take the computer in today to the meet. Today's the meetup. Every Tuesday there's a Lexington meetup, so I'll go up there and take the computer and hopefully get this thing back working. And I'll learn something, right? That's what's great about Bitcoin is I'm constantly learning, especially on that other side of the world. Even in the mining side, I'm every day. But the node side it's foreign to me. I'm still scared to hook up. I'm going to ask him if he can hook up my Cake wallet to it today, because I know they have their node sync and that kind of stuff. And I'm scared to do it. Like I'm just not good at it. Just not as comfortable with it as I am going out and throwing a miner in and knowing exactly what's going on with it.
Well, it's good you have a meetup that's a hands-on one that's actually like doing that stuff. That's cool.
No, there's a guy there a couple guys there that are really smart. And then I ask you a lot, right? Like when someone gets a foundation, we had a guy that hosts here.
Oh yeah.
Gets a foundation device. I'm like, hey, use the code ungovernable, get this foundation device. Then he asked me some basic questions and I'm like, Max, what's going on here? What do I say? And it's funny.
Just take note of that foundation. I do shield code, but people just don't use it. They just don't use it. And I'll do your customer support for you as well. So just know that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I tell you one thing, he said foundation, like when he got into the videos and stuff, he's like, they did a good job on the tutorials with those because he's very new. He's got it all set up and good to go now with his Envoy or all that stuff.
Yeah, what was it you were saying? He was like, oh, I can't see it on the device or something.
Exactly. And I don't think you're supposed to see it on the device.
Yeah, these are all things though. Like I remember thinking exactly that. I was like, "Yeah, it's not in here," and then like you get it explained. You're like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. Well, it's good you have that meetup, and yeah, hopefully more of them grow out and more people do some more like practical stuff rather than just talk about price and all that kind of stuff. But that's why like we shill as much as we do with Lake Satoshi, because even though I've not been there, every single report that I have back is just like, yeah, there's like the proper people that help you with anything, good family atmosphere. It's got all the makings of where you want to send someone new to Bitcoin to meet the right people and learn the right stuff. So that's, yeah, we shill it where we can.
They're good homies for sure. It's growing. It's definitely growing, and you can kind of see some of the other crowds kind of starting to come in, I guess you'd say, a little bit. But John and those guys took over the hill, and it was a good one. The meetup scenes, I think, are where it's at. Like, had it not been for the meetup scenes early on in my trajectory, there's no telling who I would have gotten in with or where. The meetup scenes were really, really crucial to my development, the community that I built. We all talk about circular economy, this and that. But if you're not going to the meetup or you're not getting out there amongst it, it's going to be really hard. I mean, you got lucky because you have a lot of good Telegram groups and community there, where I'm not as big really on Telegram. I don't like to be typing and putting a ton of stuff on Telegram. When I see people, sometimes I guess I'm judging when they're writing stuff on some of the chats. I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking gooper or a dweeb, and it's like, oh, and I don't want to have that same judgment put on me, so I don't necessarily write as much out there. And I'm more of an in-person guy. Like, when you see me in person and we chit chat and talk, that's when you get to feel me out, rather than just some anon on Telegram writing, oh, yeah, stick, whatever it is. It's okay, I don't know.
No, I get you. Those meetups are important. We've got one already, but we're trying to do like a load of tutorials and presentations that any meetup can just download and use. And the idea is that I'll then send a t-shirt and a hoodie or a hat and a hoodie as like prizes. So the person who does the presentation gets one, and then they have a quiz at the end on what's discussed. So we get that kind of ungovernable misfits, the important topics covered. So we did one on Ashigaru, and then we'll do one with like setting up Cake Wallet and linking that to your node and doing all that kind of stuff, and one for Foundation. So the Ashigaru one's done. So if anyone wants that, who's running a meetup or going to meetups, can suggest it. And the other two are coming. I'm working with Q and with one of Seth's marketing guys for the Cake Wallet one. I think that's the kind of stuff where it's useful. That's what we want to do more with Ungovernable, is like get into the meetups at grassroots level to say, look, we're going to provide you with this info. Here's like a pre-made talk that you can do. Would do some prizes, do some giveaways, do that kind of stuff, because it helps us like bring new listeners in as well, doing that kind of thing. That's what we're really gunning for. So any of these meetups that you go to, suggest it, and we'll send some stuff over.
Will do. And the Ashigaru, like, I don't know much about that. I hear you guys talk about it a lot. It's a coin join, right? Or a mixer, kind of?
Obviously, Samourai went away.
Yep.
And then Ashigaru is, I don't know how you'd call it, like it's like a rebirth of Samourai, and no one knows who's behind it, but I've had them on, the devs on, with voice changes and everything, and that was good to chat to them. But basically it's like, okay, Samourai wallet was a fucking amazing wallet, but obviously now it can't be worked on anymore. So whoever it is behind this has said, we still want to have all these tools, and they brought back the wallet, but without Whirlpool, which was the CoinJoin implementation to start with. And so they still had the post-mix spending tools and everything like that. They've developed it, made it really, really slick, have all the pay NIMs and all that kind of stuff. And then they've actually brought out Whirlpool. So there's a new Whirlpool, which has been running for 3 months or something like that. Me and Jordan jumped on and tested it the day it came out, and like did live testing and did all that. We've got that on the pod. But it works, and it's like, it works in the same way that Whirlpool did. It's really fucking slick. I would say now Ashigaru is a better wallet than Samourai ever was. At this point, it's really, really slick. Where I thought we'd never have Whirlpool again, and that's a big problem, we now do, and it's starting to grow. There's still some like concern around it.
Of course.
Because no one knows who's behind it, which you can kind of understand, and it's new.
Yep.
But then also it has to be someone that no one knows, because otherwise, well, we've seen what's happened to Samourai, and they're good guys.
Hats off to them.
Fucking yeah. I mean, they're really good guys who put everything on the line and didn't have to. They weren't in a situation they're like, oh, fucking well, we really need the money. And look what's happened. So you can understand no one's going to want to pop their head up and go like, oh, yeah, send me to prison, please.
Yeah, right. Craziness. I think it's only going to get worse too, really, before it gets better,
Yeah.
We know what's coming. It's been talked about and told, and these things play out. That's one thing I've learned throughout my time in Bitcoin is I compare it to the Bible sometimes, with these prophecies that I watch them get fulfilled all the time, except for my thesis on miner prices. But I got a feeling that that's going to happen at some point. I'm going to
just when you sell them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Bitcoin. You humbled me to my core again. I'm sitting here on my knees crying, and here we go.
Yeah. Well, I hope that plays out for you, mate. It's been really good chatting to you. It's been good to have a catch up, and
you too, Max.
Someone who's been around for the whole beginning of the Pleb Miner Mafia, and someone who's become a real pioneer. So we appreciate you, mate. And any sort of closing words of wisdom or shills or anything you want to do?
No, I mean, I appreciate y'all accepting me for me. I've had my freakouts in a couple of the chats, and I appreciate y'all not. It's easy to say, oh, that guy's crazy, and just turn your head away. And you and John and most of the guys in the Mesh Tadel and Pleb Miner Mafia, whatever you want to call it, they've been good to me. I appreciate the welcomeness that I feel every time I interact or get on or anything like that. And I love y'all's podcast. A lot of times on my drives, and like you were saying, like the progression of when you come in, right? I was listening to tons and tons of podcasts before 40 hours was even a thing, right? And all this shit that the Bugle does. I was listening to so many hours. And then my progression has now moved to kind of books, mainly books. Yeah. I'll listen to books now, and only a few podcasts still remain in my thing. Like, the Ungovernable Misfits is one. I listen to the Bugle now, still listen to Pod 256. I like Eco and what he does. Ashigaru, he likes the same kind of things as the Ungovernables. So it's good. There's not many left though that I listen to, and it's just the progression. The time's everything.
That's it. Well, mate, I appreciate you taking the time today. Hopefully we'll catch up again in another few years where your mining thesis has played out and you're balling.
Hopefully we get a chance to meet at Lake Satoshi someday too. I'm sure we'll meet. You stood me up when I was coming through London there. What was that, about 8 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that?
It was.
You're busy though. I get it. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but I do want to drink a pint with you.
Definitely. We'll make it happen, mate. I promise.
Sounds good. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Speak soon, mate.
All right.